Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, back with some more Kamihime Project pre-event videos. Now, this one is going to be very interesting because, as you can see, we're going to go up against another Union event enemy. But there's some stuff that they're showing here. First and foremost, if you notice on the little banner they got on this thing, and this is from Harem Battle Club thread right now. I'm going to go over to the wiki as well. But if you notice, there's fire versions of darkness characters that we've seen before, one of which you can actually get from the gem gacha. So you should have at least Mephistopheles, who you see right here. But there's a fire version of Eligos and Beelzebub finally hit SSR, so I don't know how good she is, but she's probably going to be pretty good for a fire team. Now, here's the whole thing with these fights. If you're looking at this, the main thing is the fact that it tends to try to lower your damage output for more or less for most of these fights. Expert Willem, she'll be able to put an attack debuff on your team. I don't know if she'll debuff the rest of them. I mean, in the expert fight. I mean, because standard, it's a little bit easier to handle, but that's still something to be noteworthy if you're really weak. But the whole thing with expert is the fact that it just seems like she'll just nuke you. And in the case of the demon fights, both expert and ultimate have the ability to pretty much take off 1/4 of a total burst gauge. So if you're using Shingen, like anybody that's relying on burst builds, be very careful with that. But at the same time too, the ultimate one has the ability to seal seal abilities. So that means you have to worry about your burst gauge being reduced and your abilities being unusable. So you really have to be careful with that. Now, the other thing you have to be careful about, apparently, there's some high status resistance that these bosses have. So debuffing is not going to work as well as you think. That said, you might want to focus on teams that can get a lot more offense out. That's why I said be careful about the burst builds, because they're actually pretty good for this, especially during burst time. It even says right here that Arthur with Shingen's provisional force ability is very strong. And it honestly is. But the thing about that is you have to have Shingen. And unfortunately, I can't get her yet because I don't have enough Holy Soul points. So that's the other reason why you want to try and do as good as you can on these Union events. But this is the other big thing about this one. There's now a ranking system. And honestly, the estimate for first place on a lot of stuff, just trying to get ultimate, is insane. I'll tell you this right off the bat. Unless you are a whale in a whale guild, you're probably not getting first. You're probably not getting fifth. You're probably not even getting the top 100, maybe. Those guys tend to farm this all day, every day, and then on top of that have some very strong teams. Those are the ones that are more likely to get first. Now, does that mean not to do this? No. Because there's a lot of decent prizes from these rankings, and there's multiple rankings as well. There's one for what you do individually, and a couple that for what you do in the union. So it doesn't matter whether you're part of a union or not. Try your hardest to do as much as you can in this event. You can get a crap ton of stuff. You can get a very, very good amount of stuff. I don't have full details on this just yet, but we'll see it later, hopefully, because it should be on the Japanese wiki. But all I can say is this. Given how this is going to work, and I found out that your buffs, using the grails to buff up the debuff rate, it doesn't work in this. It doesn't. So you're going to need to get buffers that actually can increase the debuff rate themselves, because that's the only way to really increase it. So that said, we're about to go see what we have here. And of course, like I said, there's that burst gauge reduction is going to be the problem. Naturally, of course, the more kills you get, the harder the demon bosses get. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the Willems, this is like maybe the second or third time we faced this Willem. I'm not sure. But for those of you that are trying to max the Willems out, I cannot stress this enough because I still see it and it kind of is a waste of a friend slot. But please do not set these as your main unless you absolutely have nothing better. We have recently gotten quite a few pretty strong add-ons from events. So unless you're like a newer player, you really shouldn't have a Willem as a lead add-on. Like, just don't set it as your main. They are good as sub add-ons because they come with that buff, that elemental attack increase buff. But as a lead, they're very, very situational. Even a Phantom one, which happens to be the best Willem of the bunch, even that's pretty bad because it does focus on a lot of teams. But one, you can't get them as a friend yet because we don't have the Phantom element as a selectable slot just yet. And second is the fact that it's still dividing your power. Now, from what I heard on the DMM side, they are releasing Phantom weapons and whatnot, so they're trying to get a little bit more into the Phantom element. If it's what I think it is, it's going to start catering to all your elements. So until then, it may not be good. I'm not sure. But that's still a long ways down the line, at least a year later. But just pointing it out there that when it comes to trying to get the Willems to be used, you're dividing your power, basically. 3 of your characters will be very, very strong, but the other 2 won't be. And if you just so happen to have another 1 character in the sub and one of the off-element characters get killed, you lose that buff. So it is not only extremely risky, but it also lowers your power. It lowers your overall power. You're probably better off just getting any normal wind add-on for your main and leaving the Willems as a sub. It goes for the other elements as well. Not to mention, we have a nice little bulk of the 100% add-ons. They're hands down the best ones to have. Even if you don't have them, there's some very decent ones, like if you really want to drop rate increase, Sleffier is a good one. Jabberwock's a pretty decent one too, from what I can tell, because ability damage actually does make a noticeable difference. But that's if you have a lot of abilities to nuke with. And then, another one that's also pretty good is any of them that also increase your burst damage along with your attack power. But hopefully the ones that come from the gacha, like Ifrit. But other than that, you might want to stick to the ones like Icarus or Garuda, which are from really, really old events. Hopefully you'll see them again. You probably won't see Icarus' raid event, but you might see Garuda again down the line. And again, the 100% add-ons, I forgot how to pronounce the Win one, but they're extraordinarily strong. They are hands down the best add-ons in the game right now. But yeah, you can grind for Holy Soul points here. Grimoire shouldn't be too hard to get either. Quite frankly, I'm probably going to need them because if I can get the last 2, because I know they give you about 2 Dragonic Eye Shards in this. If I can get 2 more of those, because I haven't really kept up on the weekly quests too well. But if I can get 2 more of those, then I'll have enough to actually get somebody to another awakening. So I'm hoping to actually do something with that. I haven't gotten a maxed out Willem, so I'll probably do that. I'm not too keen on the Pride weapons, to be quite honest. Because the way I feel, they don't seem all that great until your health starts dropping, and I'd rather take the enemy out before that even gets to that point. Especially for my win team, which is extremely tanky. Unless it's like the last event where I'm fighting a boss where your health drops very quickly just by sheer luck because it had an attack that cuts it in half. But that's the only time I can really see the pride weapons really having an effect. Granted, they still work as assault, because take the skill level multiplied by 0.5, that's the base value you get from it. However, they can go up to like an additional 30% attack, but your health has to be extremely low, like 5% of its total. Like, I don't see what the big hype is about pride weapons, but as of right now, I don't see them being too powerful. Still, get them anyway, because I do know they get more powerful later on, especially when we're able to get the final breaks. Because I think they do change the formula of the pride weapons of how they work. I'm not entirely sure. They might have done it already, but even still, is the fact that when it comes to these weapons from the Union events, they do eventually get final breaks. What that means is they'll be able to get broken a fourth time, increasing their level from 125 to 150, but it gives them a second skill level effect as well. And a lot of them are pretty good. That's why I stress to try and get that light one so much, because it gets the Ascension ability, which we don't really have yet. The only means of even getting a healing increase is basically through certain add-ons or through Soul, if you have her awakened. But that light one got a lot of decent stuff. I think the wind one might get a really good one too later down the line. I don't know. But just because of the simple fact that skill level 30 really spikes what it can do, and then on top of that, the stats on it is very high at that point as well. They're high already, because I think all of the pride weapons go past 2,000 attack. But again, it depends. It depends. Especially if you don't have a grid full of assault, then a pride weapon definitely can take its spot for a while. So, whether you want to use them or not, it's good to actually hold on to them. So, try to get pride weapons if you can. The Loams, again, they shine more as a sub slot. And then, we're eventually going to start getting add-ons. I know it's going to start with light and dark eventually, where the more you have of the same element, the more powerful their effects get. Like, it starts off with an 80% elemental attack, and then it increases as you break limit them and have similar elements with it, so you're going to try and get matching element ones. So if you need be, just keep farming up a whole bunch of loans and have them as your subs. Because to be quite honest, not too many people are keen on the stats for it. And it really isn't, because their health and their attack power is quite low compared to the other stuff, but again, it can sort of help you out. Now, I don't know if we're going to get this, which is a second SSR weapon. If we do, I hope so, because it's an assault weapon. But, far as I know, it may not be here. Like, see, yeah, this is what I was talking about. When we get final breaks, you're not just getting the pride effect, you're also getting a burst performance increase, which I do believe is going to up the damage of your burst attack. So, yeah, that's what I said. Try to get some of these pride weapons, because they do come with some very good secondary abilities. And plus, look at that attack power when it gets that high. It's 2,400. That's like gacha level attack power, I do believe. I can't imagine what they'll have. But, if you need more assault weapons too, you could probably get some more wind hammers and whatnot. I do need some for my wind team, so I'm probably going to hold on to that hammer. The gun, I'm not too quick about. Now, I know for a fact you can also farm other raids too, the raids that we normally have. Especially if you can do the Ragnarok one, because that's got a very good raid to drop and that type of stuff. But, again, it could be sort of difficult, and my luck with it hasn't been the best. Like, you've seen all those lucky videos where I pulled all these Kamihime and whatnot. Yeah, that's because it seems like it's siphoning my luck for the raid events. I haven't gotten a raid assault in who knows how long. It's been months. So, that's why I try to get them from events, because they hand them out. So, I'll probably be getting this one. Again, it depends on what you got. If you got a full grid of SSR assault, then by all means, use it. Don't worry about the SR. But a fully broken SR is stronger than than an SSR that's probably gotten 1 star. So chances are you're probably going to want to get as many assault as you can. Now, see, here's what the ranking is saying. Individual achievement for the normal ranking can give you like 3,000 magic jewels if you're in the top 5. I think you get another 2,000 magic jewels if you get the top 5 for both expert and ultimate kills with your union. And then it looks like it gives you Dragonic Eye pieces too. I'm not sure. It gives you a lot of grails too, SR grails. And R grails. I'm not sure if they're really worth it or not. But here's the whole thing. Just by participating, you seem to get rewarded. Because I know there's not a million unions out there. But if you can be in the top 10,000, you can get a decent handful of magic jewels, honestly. 400 magic jewels isn't too shabby. But if you can stay in the top 1,000, that's where you start getting a lot of prizes. So, again, just do the freaking event. Period. It's good. It's very good. Now, as something extra too to add to this, I'm not going to look up what the other, well, I might look up what they do. But I'm curious to see what the fire, I want the other ones. I'm curious to see what the fire, Beelzebub has. Of course, she's probably coming with a rampaging thing, but I've got Daki for that. And that's the thing, Daki's probably going to be pretty good for this event too, because she increases combo rate, gives you a method of healing. She puts rampaging to deal a lot of damage too, and then she's got an ability where you get 40% resistance towards wind, like raw damage cut. So it's kind of like Jones' ability. If I stack that with Jones' ability, it's going to be insane, because I think I cut all damage by 80%. It's possible. But here we go. Fire Beelzebub. Yeah, she gives oh, she gets enthusiasm for it too, which means she increases your burst gauge and also puts you in rampaging. But she also draws attention to herself. That's a little bit of a problem. Yeah, I think she puts aggro on herself. Fire attack on everybody. Attribute attack. Oh, wow. Okay, see, now I'm seeing why she's also pretty strong, but the whole problem with this is the fact that all 3 of her abilities have drawbacks. That's the one thing that's preventing her from being too overpowered, because think about this. Your entire party can get an attack power increase, fire elemental increase, increased chance of double attack. I think it might do triple attack too, I'm not sure. It gives you consistent burst charge up as well. But it's also at the cost of some damage. I'm not sure how much, because that's what enthusiasm does. But throwing all of them at the same time, it draws attention to herself to get hit, and really, really lowers the defense of your teams. So she's definitely if you're going a glass cannon build, she's definitely going to be your cornerstone. But she is very, very, very good in the buff department by the looks of it. Okay, so you take 10% of your HP and damage on that enthusiasm, but it does have a limit to how much it can take out per turn. So if you're not reaching the upper limit for this stuff, then the 5 turns can literally cut out like half your HP. See what I mean about the downsides on her? But that's the whole thing. She's a very, very strong buffer. It's just the fact that she's got drawbacks. You have to use her carefully. I knew there were some catches to her. Don't get me wrong, she's stupidly strong, but she'll turn you into the very definition of a glass cannon, so be careful. Be quite honest, I wouldn't even suggest using her unless you got Amaterasu. And in my case, I don't, so I'm not going to be really quick on getting Fire Beelzebub. Now, if she's limited, then there's a problem. But we'll see. And just because I heard there's a little bit of hype for her, too, I'm going to try and find where, there we go, Fire Elios. And I'm not gonna lie, she looks sexy as hell. But, okay, I see why. Defense up wind resistance. That's very good. Regeneration and barrier. Invalidates attacks on all units, and she gives oh, wow. She's actually better to go for the, Beelzebub, I think. In my personal thoughts, she's better to go for the Beelzebub, because Beelzebub has a lot of very strong buffs, but Elios has no drawbacks. Oh my god, that's insane. Wait, they called her Yandere? But, Elios is very, very strong. Yeah, I'm glad I checked this out. Christ. So if I combine her, like, if they go in different frames, if I can combine her with Daki, the two of them using some wind resistance will consistently, like, if I do them together, it will end up having, if I do them together, that sounds kind of wrong, but anyways, if both of those buffs together are combined, just the wind resistance alone would be 75%, I do believe, which is insane. But if they're not same frame, that's what it can do. If they are same frame, I'll just have to alternate and always have, like, what, 35% up for most of the fight. If not all of it, if depending on how much Daki got cooldown. But my god, that's insane. And now, just out of curiosity, I'm kind of wondering what Fire Mephistopheles has. Hopefully they improved her too. She does look cute, I'll give her that. When did she have an axe? I don't remember her having an axe. Oh my. I think I like what I see already. I think that meant to attack that. What? Should an R character even have this much stuff? This is insane. She is like an improved, and I kid you not, she is like an improved Mordred. The only thing she does not have is the increased chance of put debuffs. So honestly, you cannot go wrong with pulling on this banner. Oh my goodness. It's B frame, but it's still 20%. My god. So she does the same thing as Mordred. You just don't get the increased turns for the enemy to burst you. And you don't get the, what is it? The debuff increase. But this makes up for it right there. The fact that enemies will deal less wind attribute damage, and you get a fire resistance down. So no matter what, this is 40% defense debuffing. And it's very easy to hit the cap with her. And then on top of that too is the fact that if they're a wind enemy, you have 40% attack down. This is nuts. I'm going to pull on this. I'm not kidding. You'll see a pull video for this. But know for a fact that anybody that gets her Like, honestly, I want all three of them. But if you can get Elgos and Mephistopheles, your fire team is going to be insanely tanky. But quite frankly, though, too, it's like, oh my goodness. Depending on the team comps and all that, your buffers and debuffers can be pretty strong. I'm not kidding. This is the first time I will say this without a doubt. But she should not be R. Now, Caspiel, she was a very strong Win character, who I probably would have put as an SR, but this one is a guaranteed, like, why is she SR level? Probably SSR level with all this stuff. And she's rated R. Rated R for wrong. Jeez. And yeah, I made that joke. But anyways, that's enough of this. This pre-event video has gone on long enough. Again, and see, that's the downside with this upcoming event too. These debuffs is not going to stick too well. But I will say this. Without a doubt, this event's looking to really change a lot of stuff. It's going to manipulate the meta a little bit because of the fact that we now get rankings for union events, so you can start racking up a crap ton of very good stuff. If you got a union that's very, very grindy, expect a crap ton of magic jewels, enough to actually get an 11 pool and then some left over. So that's pretty strong. These new fire girls, well, they're old girls, but they got a new element, and they definitely stepped their game up. You need to go after them. You need to go after them. In fact, just one last quick little check. I need to see if Beelzebub is limited, because if she is, that changes a little things. But the other two are not limited, so go for them for sure. Yeah, she doesn't seem limited. So Fire Beelzebub seems like she's permanent gacha. I don't know for sure. But I don't see anything like this where it says currently unavailable. So, that said, go ham. Just go for it. But, anyways, that's all I got for this video, guys. Again, more of this coming soon because I got a little bit more of an upgraded fire team that's going to go up against this stuff. And quite frankly, if I manage to pull them, I'm going to go nuts with Eligos and Mephistopheles. Heck, I might even throw Beelzebub in there too, because she's a very strong buffer, and combined with Severog, who I've gotten, I think I got another level 80 awakened. Oh boy, possibilities. And there's no guarantee I'll actually get them either, but the Mephistopheles I'm probably sure I'll pull. But anyways, this really has dragged on long enough. That's all I got for this, guys. Again, grind the crap out of this event, pull in this banner if you can, and try to jump into a union. I'll even leave my friend info in the comments too, just to try and contact. Like, if you do need a union, I still got slots on mine, but either way, try to join one. Try to join one. This one's looking to be very, very good. But anyways, that's all I got for this video, guys. Take care.